Buff dudes have been around on fitness YouTube since forever. I'm certain that many of you are familiar with the content from the two brothers. Now, the kettlebell swing that the brothers, as well as Adrian, demonstrates is questionable. So again, we have a great teaching moment, and it goes to show how important it is that you learn the skill when you want to pick up a kettlebell. But before we get started, I have a gift for you: 30 days filled with kettlebell workouts for free. Check the first link in the description. Grüezi miteinander, Gregory von Lebe here. Now, the kettlebell swing, like I mentioned, requires skill. And after reviewing the material from influencers, coaches, YouTubers, fitness folks, I can most definitely say that bodybuilders tend to have the worst technique when it comes to kettlebells. Bodybuilders, my friends, when you pick up the kettlebell, you not only have to listen, but you also have to loosen up. Now, the biggest mistake that I see is this. Watch. Arm dominant behavior. I am now doing what I like to refer to a ballistic front raise or a ballistic upright row. This is one of the major mistakes that not only bodybuilders do, but also beginners. Now, the second mistake that I see is lacking explosiveness. Based upon the nature of the kettlebell swing, which is a ballistic exercise, you don't want to fight momentum, you want to work with it. So instead of trying to tense up throughout the whole movement, you want to keep your arms fairly loose as soon as the kettlebell reaches its apex, approximately at chest level. And then you want to let it drop and let gravity do its thing. The third mistake that I see is the leaning back motion. I intentionally put the word mistake in parentheses, because if you know what you're doing, it's not an error. So let me show you the two ways of leaning back. Number one is the wrong way to lean back. Watch. What you are actually doing, biomechanically speaking, is you're pushing the hips forward through the force and the power of your glutes, and you have this locked spine that is leaning backwards with it. And this might create problems in the lower back. Now let me show you the right way to lean back, which is an optical illusion to a certain extent. What happens if you lean back properly is you are extending the lumbar part of your spine, squeezing the glutes, and you are unlocking the T-spine. This creates an emphasized kyphotic position, which is natural and totally fine. Unlocking the T-spine and letting it relax to a certain extent means that at the top position of the swing, the kettlebell sits a little bit closer to your center of mass. Adrian's swing offers great insights into one of the biggest mistakes that everybody makes once they pick up a kettlebell for a swing. Adrian is disconnecting her arms from her body way too early. So the hip extension right on top doesn't add any force or power to the movement. The force that's coming from this part right here cannot be transferred into the arms because it's disconnecting too early. That's why I always follow my sensei Steve Carter's important cue. Maximize the time the arm is connected to the body and minimize the time the arm is disconnected from the body. As you are hinging, you come back up, extending the hips, using the propulsion power from this part of your body, and until the hip extension is finished, you wait. After it's finished, now this sends your arms flying. And as the kettlebell comes back down, you wait until the arm makes contact with your body again, and then you go back down into the hinge. In this particular video, they also talk about isolating the hamstrings. It seems like a common misconception that the kettlebell swing trains your hamstrings only. In reality, it requires your hamstrings, your glutes, as well as your lower back to work in tandem as a unit, with the weakest link in the chain being the lower back. Now, if you go heavy on a leg day, you might burn out your lower back. Adding swings at the end of the workout to a burned out back might not yield great results. Do the kettlebell swing when you're fresh. And if you want to do it in the end, ensure that the weakest link in the chain, which is your lower back, is strong enough to handle the load. Here's the next step that you have to do. You have to like the video, consider subscribing, share it with a friend, and then go watch this video right here where I talk about kettlebell training for beginners. This might be the first time that you see our channel. We're all about kettlebells. And if you're into kettlebells and you want to learn more, go check out this resource right here. You're going to enjoy it if you're just getting started. So go watch it right now.